class, we are going to be dissecting. Of course, if you're watching this video, you need to complete watching the video so that you can complete the lab sheet that's attached below. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce to you your tools that we'll be using. These will be the only tools that we will use in class. So at your station, you have a tray that looks like this. If you look at the laminated sheet that you have at your station with your number on it, these are the tools that I'm going to go over. So the only thing you need to be looking at is your laminated sheet. We have a tray that looks like this. This is your dissecting tray. This is where your specimen will go. On the bottom of your dissecting tray, there is this black wax-looking stuff. The wax stuff is for when you're opening up your specimen to hold it open. We may or may not need T-pins. T-pins are what holds your specimen open, and it sticks in this black stuff that's wax. We probably will not need the T-pins for this lab. The next thing you have is a dissecting toolkit, which looks like this. Your toolkit has a couple of things that we will use in the lab. You should not be touching your toolkit right now because you are looking at your laminated sheet. In your toolkit, you have a pair of scissors. There are tweezers. There's 2 probing needles, one red and one blue. One of the kits may have brown ones, and that's perfectly fine. We will not be using our eyedropper. We do not need that for this lab. In a moment, I'm going to be calling up your group to come and get your specimen and a pair of gloves, as well as some napkins. When I call you up, that's the only things that you will need to come up and get. Again, it will be a pair of gloves, some napkins, and your specimen. You will only need one glove. One glove was going to be used for your hand that you're going to be touching stuff, and then of course your other hand will be free for you to write with. So the glove can go on your left hand, or it may go on your right hand. At some point, one person, actually you can have a pair of gloves, it's fine. That'll work. I'll just get some more. One person will come up, you'll bring your tray. I'm sorry, I apologize. Let me say that again, I apologize. You'll come up and you'll get your gloves and your napkin. You'll get your specimen after. I want to prepare you with the gloves and your napkin first. The one person that comes up from each group will get gloves for everyone. And just the 2 napkins for your entire station, so when it's time to clean up. So, may I please have station 7. Everybody in the group. Again, you have a sheet that looks like this. Chris, you have a sheet that looks like this. Make sure you've changed your counts to 3 times. You're also going to need to name your squid. I'm going to name my squid Squidward. So if you are watching this video online, you need to put the name Squidward here. At this time, you need to be measuring from your squid from mantle to the tentacle end. So you are going from the back of from the tip of the fin all the way to your tentacle. And I'm going to put it up on the screen for a moment when I pull mine out. You're going to measure the longest tentacle. Tentacles are the 2 longer ones with suckers only at the end. You're going to measure the longest arms. There are how many arms? 8. How many tentacles? 2. Then you're going to write the function of the arms, meaning what are the arms used for? That is all you're doing right now. I'm going to put my squid on the board so you can see it. My squid are a lot larger than yours. So, So this is my squid. If you're watching this video on online, I am measuring, turn it this way for a moment. I am going to measure my squid from the fin, that's all the way back here. That's what you should be doing with yours. All the way up to the longest tentacle. So you will see my longest tentacle continues and goes all the way out. So I'm going to be measuring mine. You do yours. So mine from the end to the longest tentacle is 28 centimeters. So if you're watching this video online, you need to be putting 28 centimeters in this very first part. My longest tentacle here, I'll measure, and you guys measure yours. My longest tentacle is 10 centimeters. So that's here. And my longest arm. I already said it, like 28. My longest arm is 4.5. My longest arm is 4.5 centimeters. It should take you only 1 more minute to finish measuring and writing it down so that we can get to our dissection. I just said that. The other things are tentacles. Okay, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready. I'm moving. All right. The first thing that you're going to do in doing your last, we're going to be placing our squid dorsal side up, which is the darkest side up. You'll notice that there are some dark dots. You have a light side and you have a dark side. I want you to place it on the dark side. All right? On this side, you're going to locate the chromatophores. What are the chromatophores? Rosalind. The things change color. All these little dots. All these dots are your chromatophores. And sometimes, if you rub them, it may change color a little. You can rub it. Sometimes it happens when it's alive. Sometimes it can happen when they're dead. All right. Now we're going to locate the fins. Your fins, obviously, are at the very end. Duran, I'm about to move on. Really, Simon? Excuse me. If we can't get this done, then you will receive a 0. So your fins are at the very end. Go ahead and look at your fins and touch them. Now we know that the fins help it to do what? Swim. All right. The mantle is all of this skin out here. This is the mantle. All of that stuff. Now your pin. At the very tip of your squid's head, this thing right here, going all the way down to the tip of your fin. You'll be able to feel that. It kind of feels like a little bit tougher. That's like the backbone. It's because it's an internal shell, so it's an invertebrate. That's the pin. It's not a bone. It's kind of like cartilage. Now, if you do not want to touch the squid, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to. But when you get to be a sophomore in high school, you will dissect and you will have to. So this gives you your experiment. All right, your experience. From there, we're going to locate our eyes. Our eyes are on the side of your squid. It gives them good peripheral vision. The eyes are fairly large and proportionate to the squid's head. So if we were to compare this to a human, this would be like walking with plates on the side of our head. That, because you're this small. That great peripheral vision is good for hunting. Remember, squid can be predator or prey. Now what we're going to do is we already know how many tentacles and how many arms it has. You're going to hold your squid like a flower, which means you're going to hold it like this where the head's in your hand, tentacles are laying, and you're going to open up. Oh, it's kind of slippery. You're going to open up your squid so that you see the beak. Now here's our dissecting. Take out your tweezers and your tweezers only. Eddie, you shouldn't be asking me what's what because you have a picture there telling you what everything is. That picture we just went over. Now, with your tweezers, yours will be a little bit smaller than mine because you have a smaller squid. You can go ahead and pull out the beak like I did. There's going to be two pieces. Rika, look at my picture. You see exactly what I'm doing. So if you look at up here for a second, you'll see my beak. And mine is a lot bigger than yours, but they're two little black things and kind of sharp tips. 3 years ago when I was dissecting, the squid actually had a fish in its mouth. All right, listen up. Now remember, the beak is located where we have something called the buccal bulb. Get over there. With the mouth, and it goes, the food goes through the mouth, passes the eyes. What's in the head? Their brain. So this is brain food. Passes through their brain to get all the way down into their stomach and then their intestines. Okay. Eddie, that's fine. Now, turn your squid on its back so its stomach is now shown. Rika, you need to raise your hand for questions that I just went over that. The darkest side is the back. The lightest side is the stomach. You just had it laying on its stomach. Now flip it over. Your squid was just laying on its stomach. The stomach is the lighter side. The back is the darker side. Now lay your squid on its back so the lighter side is showing. Where now the fins are laying down in the tray as well, like so. Now, if you look at your squid from the tip of its head, and you can lift this part like if it was a collar. So pop your squid's collar. Now, In addition to that, you will notice there's this little hole right here. It's like a little tube and it has a hole. You see that? That's called the siphon, remember? That's what they use to give them that what? Jet-like propulsion. They squeeze water in or shoot water out? Both. They also poop from here, and they also squirt ink from here.
They do?
Yes. No. No. Now what you're going to do, with our squid placed like so, one person from the group is going to lift the collar, and you may have to turn it in a way so that you can do this, because we're about to start cutting. You need to listen before you do this. The collar has to be lifted, because if the collar's not lifted, you're going to cut some major organs, and we don't want to do that. So you're going to lift the collar. The other person is going to cut just a little bit. Another person is going to hold that collar and keep cutting all the way until you get not to the end, but just there. And you open it up. That's good. That's good. That's far enough. You only need to go as far as just almost to the end, not all the way to the end. If you went to the end, that's fine, as long as your squid is open. Now, some things that we're going to point out. On the side, you'll see some feather things. Mine are kind of brownish red because I have a larger squid. Yours may be white, but they kind of look like feathers. They're hanging on the side. What are those? Those are the gills to help it to breathe underwater. Inside, this big pink thing is the what? It's the stomach. The big middle part is the stomach.
Oh, and ours is like white.
On top of your squid stomach, you'll probably notice an iridescent line. Looks like a dark pearl. That's the ink sac. It's laying right on top of the stomach. It looks like a little shiny, purplish bluish color.
Wait, how do they refill their ink?
Same way you refill your saliva. It just happens. It's something that they need. Yes. Same way you produce your saliva, and your saliva holes are so small. It's something that you need. They need it. So their body automatically produces it.
Wow. Can it get bigger? I'm going to use it in my science.
Yeah, good question. Aaron asks, does the ink sac grow with them, ladies?
Yes.
Look how small yours is and look how big mine is. So yeah, as the squid gets bigger, everything grows with them as well. All right. Down at the bottom of your squid, you'll notice there may be a puffy Duran. There may be a cloudy white pouch, like liquidy pouch, but cloudy, really, really dark white, or it may be clearish, cloudy yellow. If it is like a dark, listen up here, if it's a dark white, not these things, but this puffy ball right here, liquid pouch. If it's like really, really white, but looks like a thick, creamy white, then you have a boy. That's sperm. If it's it's not like you touched his reproductive organ. Christasia. Christasia. Calm down. Then if your liquidy area here is like a cloudy yellow, then that's a girl. Mine, I believe, is girl, and I think it may have some eggs in it. Mine may have that unproduced eggs. And mine. Yeah, the Squid was good.
She's dead now. She donated her body to science.
All right. One thing that you're going to do, you're going to take your squid, and this is probably going to freak out some of you girls and some of you boys, but you're going to take your squid and you're going to lift it up so that you're looking at this back pen area. And when you do that, you're actually going to rip it from its back. No, not all the way, just a little bit. And you'll hear a like that. I kind of put the body from the back so that I can see that backbone. It's going to squish a little, and that's fine. And you'll hear I know.
That's a girl no more. You can't tell.
This is a girl because the eggs are unproduced, but they know you see like the eggs have. It was like a cloudy yellow, but mine has like little unproduced eggs in it. White, like this color, but like that was the sperm. All right, look up here. Now remember, this backbone is called the what? Pin. And it allows the squid to do what? Swim. And swim like this. So what we're going to do is, we're going to try to get this pin out. And you're going to use your scissors and your tweezers. Now look up here first. Because you do not need to cut that off. You just it has like a top layer of skin that you're just going to cut around the pin so that you can get access to the pin. Watch as I pull the pin. Watch what happens. I pulled it all the way out. I want you to do that same thing. And I want you to observe the pin and write down what it looks like in number 5 of your paper. Describe the pin.
Whoa, she pulled it off.
For the online lesson, you are going to finish answering the rest of your questions.